Hello, Tony. It's the year of fighting games, and I'm here to finally talk about fighting games.
Final fight. Oh, that's different.
No, that's a different fighting game. Although I could have just played beat 'em up games this entire year without touching an actual fighting game. I mean, technically,
Yeah,
I would have won. But let me just
yeah.
beat the shit out of this
I'll
mime quickly. He's starting to piss me off. So this is the World
Yeah.
Tour mode for Street Fighter
Before you
6, which was the first game I
Before you went
picked.
PvP.
Yeah, so this is back when I was very bad at the game. I mean, I'm really bad still in like the grand scheme, but like I understood so little
You're
about the
understanding
game.
Yeah.
Compared to what I understand now. Like I'm like dive rushing. I understand advantages and armor now, which is not something you would understand at the start of the game.
So I don't understand. So I haven't played enough. I guess you would have to understand that through World Tour. But yeah, I have like no intention. Like I've also like picked this game up and played it on my Steam Deck, but I have no intention of playing PvP. Like
Yeah, that's the thing, because I picked up this
only
game
play
and I'm
single
like,
player.
oh, the World Tour mode looks fun, but like I almost play no World Tour mode, and I always just queue up like ranked games. I just want to play against people and try and get better.
Yeah.
That's sort of the stuff I really enjoy. Is like the feeling of progression there.
Yeah.
So the way
That's
World
fair.
Tour mode works is you create like a custom avatar character. You were like, I was showing you this earlier, and you were like, "Why do you look like a robot? Why do you look so weird?"
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cheating.
Oh, there's tech trees in World Tour mode as well, so you can like upgrade
Yeah.
your character and buy new moves. So you can
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
get
combo
like
moves.
pre-made. People can make like crazy customized fighters, right? And you can download other people's fighters off the internet by inputting a code. And I was like, okay, let me look up like a really ridiculous one to have as my fighter. And I saw Batman as one. I was like, okay, I'll just be fucking Batman. But I think I just you need like a bunch of like clothes options in order to like actually make him look like Batman. So I just kind of look like I have like his cowl on with robotic arms. And then I was like, oh, I don't have like the items I need for that, so I'll just I'll just wear a stupid hat and just kind of look like a weird robot guy. So like in World Tour mode, you can literally just walk up to anyone and fight them. Basically, everyone in this city is like, I'm down for a fucking street fight, brother. I'm down.
Yeah. They kind of explain it that like law of disputes are handled with fighting as like a horrible thing.
Yeah, you pound your chest and you go,
find
bro, this is
hilarious.
Metro City, you know. I'm here to respect you, because I was walking up to people and just like saying, hey, let's have a match. But there's literally like you can do like special moves inside the world, which is actually kind of interesting for the gameplay. Where like if I do a rising uppercut, like which is one of Luke's, so I play almost only Luke because he's the tutorial character, and I started playing and I'm like, oh, I kind of love just using Luke's moveset. He's basically he's the new character for Street Fighter 6, and I think they try to make him like the mascot of Street Fighter
He's
6.
pretty cool. Like, I think.
Yeah, I
he's
like
pretty
Luke.
cool as him.
I think he's awesome.
I don't know anything about Street Fighter, but yeah, he's really cool.
So I started playing as him, and he's like he's basically like he's like the Ryu, right? He's very like a well-rounded character. Like, cause you'll get like your E Hondas that are just really slow, and they're just gonna walk up and try and grab you. Like I've lost to my fair share of E Hondas. But then you'll have like your Dialisms where you're just like. He's like the yoga guy who has like really stretchy limbs. You're just like, oh, this is like a gimmick character, and he just wants to like range you and just throw yoga fire and shoot like fireballs at you and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Luke just feels like he's quite good. He's quite good on modern as well. Like, I think at one of the finals of one of the major tournaments, there was a modern Luke player, as because most of like the guys in the fighting game community are like, no, you have to play on classic and get like a fight box. But one of the cool things about Street Fighter 6 is I've just been playing with a Xbox controller and just playing on modern controls.
Yeah,
and I was showing you like some of the differences. I was like, yeah, to do the special Vulcan Sandblast, you need to do like up, down, left, right, up, down, you know, A, B or whatever. And it's like to do it on modern, you have to press like Y and B or like right trigger B, or you know, like it.
Yeah.
They condense down this stuff and make it a lot more approachable.
it becomes timing and seeing and like what do you want to do instead of remembering the buttons.
Well, I feel like when you're learning something, you want to take off as much
Yeah.
What's the word?
Cognitive load.
Mental, yeah, cognitive load, like mental stack. You want to like break it down.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
when
100%.
people say like for example, learning League of Legends. A lot of the like that game's really overwhelming because there's like 100 characters. They all do different things, and like MOBAs have insane learning curves. Like they're similar to fighting games where they have an established community of people and they're all really good at the game. So like it can feel kind of alienating to get into that as a newcomer.
Yeah.
Which is what I was worried about with fighting games.
Yeah.
With the modern mode, I've actually been finding actually a lot of fun, and I've been like constantly improving just by playing, which is nice.
I think about like watching like a couple of videos from like I guess like fighting game aficionado like YouTube videos. Like people saying like there's a lot more people in the space now because of Street Fighter 6. So,
yeah, which is awesome because I've really been enjoying Street Fighter 6. I think I've only really played Street Fighter 6 and Fatal Fury, the City of the Wolves beta, but I've really been enjoying Street Fighter 6. And because I bought Tekken as well this year, and I was like, maybe I should check out Tekken at some point. But I don't know if you've seen the news about Tekken 8, but
No.
they just did a update for Tekken 8, which is considered to be the worst fighting game patch in history of fighting and people fucking hate that game right now.
What did they do?
I don't honestly. I don't even know, but like I know, like it basically they got rid of the entire balance team and brought back like the OG guys. They were like, this is not good. And also the reason I picked Street Fighter as my first one was Street Fighter is a 2D fighter, so you only exist on one plane, so it's left and right, up and down. Whereas with something like Tekken, you can kind of step in and out of the background, so it's more of like a 3D fighter.
More rings.
And I was like, well, that's more on my cognitive load if I have to worry about another plane of existence, you know? I was like, am I in the Matrix? It's two of the same woman. Right, that's it, you're going down. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to mention. So you can just walk up and say, hey, do you want to fight? But you can just like literally walk up and punch someone in the face and it will start a fight with them. And that'll give you like an advantage.
I also love you get spectators as well. Like it does that a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like real life. If you see a fight in the street, you're kind of like, oh, what's going on over there?
I guess. Very interesting.
But the way the moves work in this is you can choose a master. So you can be like, so for me, my master's Luke. So when I'm fighting, I'm using his moves. But then I also, as you progress through like the quote unquote story, I would say story in very like loose terms. It's very much just like NPCs have a couple of it's not text unvoiced dialogue, and I would say it's very safe to just skip through it, sort of thing. But then you unlock the other masters like Chun-Li, and you can learn like spinning crane kick and stuff like that, right? But you can like mix and match moves, so you can have Luke as your master and be like, I want to gain. You can gain like friendship with different characters in so you can like give them gifts as well. It's almost like a soft, like, you know, like a dating sim system where you'd be like, oh, I want to get affection, like I have to give Cammy eels so I can unlock her second outfit, sort of thing, like a classic outfit, right? But I was just, so I had like a mix of like Luke moves and Chun-Li moves, but the way they interact in like the real world is interesting because when you're walking around the world, there's like diegetic events. You can like fight hoodlums on the street, and they might, you know, it reminds me of playing like Persona, where, you know, someone might, you want to try and attack someone first, so you get advantage on them, but if you don't attack them first, they might attack you if they're some of like the hoodlums who are like the dangerous gangs. But as well, there'll be like a box on like a building rooftop across from you, and you're like, well, how the hell do you get that? Tony, you can spinning crane kick in the actual world itself, and it will let you like fly across like a helicopter. So like, I
didn't realize.
There is like weird like platforming stuff in World Tour as well. There is like
I think I love the moves as well. So like, is it almost like more Metroidvania.
And then you'll basically like crash a
need
box
this move.
open, and then you can get like energy drink. Because like after every fight, you lose health, and you have to like eat food and energy drinks to get back food, and then you can like you can get stuff that will give you like buffs in order to increase your damage in the next fight. There's like big tech trees where you can be like, I want to increase my vitality, I want to increase my my moveset. I want to mix and match moves. The reason I didn't like playing World Tour as much as just queuing up and playing against random people is I felt like when I was playing World Tour, I wasn't learning how to play the actual game of Street Fighter in terms of the online mode. Because when you're playing...
Yeah, because you have weird moveset.
Yeah, you have weird movesets, but you're also, like, as you play, the game gets easier. Like, and you get moves and stuff. You get, like, abilities, and you're stronger than you actually would be in real life.
Yeah.
In, like, the actual outside. Like,
yeah.
When I was playing, like, I was just queuing up ranked, I was like, oh, okay. I'm learning Luke's moveset, I'm becoming a better Luke player. When I was playing World Tour, I was like... I'm playing this weird, like, open PvP, like, PvE thing where I'm just running around punching people and collecting crates and stuff, which I'm like, there's kind of an interesting element to that, right? But personally, I really enjoyed the PvP aspect. You know, I'm a big, like, multiplayer gamer, so, like, playing against humans is definitely interesting, like, learning how they play and trying to counter that. Like, I even like playing against people that are a lot better than me because I like to try and learn from some, and like just even watching somebody else, play Luke and being like, oh, what are they doing? And then trying to replicate it is interesting.
I feel like it's very more of my problem is like I feel like I need like more information to be able to watch someone like break down what they're doing. Like I'm still at the stage of like I can't do that yet.
I don't know. I like learning on the fly and just learning by doing sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about what I was going to say now. Yeah, the World Tour was interesting, but I felt like I learned a lot more by just queuing it. So, because initially when I queued up, I was like, I'm going to queue up just the unranked ladder. And that'll be a good way to play against people who are not competitive, right? And just learn. Awful mistake. Do not queue up for normal mode. Because what's going to happen is you're just going to get queued up against people that are in insanely different skill level to you. So what happened was, when I was queuing up on the normal mode, I was getting ranked against like platinum diamond players. And I'm just getting my ass handed to me. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, here's the spinning crane click platforming, Tony, that I was talking about.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I'll queue up for ranked, and ranked will put you up against people who are actually your skill level. So I was newcomer because it makes you fight against a CPU, and then it puts you up against people in order to be like, okay, where are you ranked? So I got put in the lowest rank in the game, which was nice because it actually let me play against people that I could potentially be. I started playing online, and I was losing so much that my goal was to win one game. That was my whole goal. Because I was just the difference between somebody who has never played a fighting game like me and somebody who's like casually played a fighting game, there's like an insane skill gap. And I felt like initially I was playing catch up, but like crazy thing happened, Tony. Like, I won a game, and then I won another game, and I started like ranking up, and I started like getting a lot better, and I was like learning, and I was learning matchups, and
you wanted to get let next rank up.
Yeah, I went from newcomer to iron, which again to people who play fighting games might be like, oh, that, you know, iron's like the second lowest rank in the game, but to me that was huge. Like, remember, my goal was to win one game, because that's how like big the skill gap initially between me and other players was, right? I think it'd be interesting. I haven't played World Tour since I've been playing online, but I think it'd be interesting to go back into World Tour because I think I would find it a lot easier now.
I can't remember the difficulties for World Tour. Like, can you ramp up the difficulty?
The difficulty is kind of just static, but then enemies have different levels, and you level up. So, and then that leveling up gives you skills, and you can get items. That's kind of how they do the difficulty scaling. So you just become you become stronger, and you can fight against weaker opponents to become stronger if you want to. That's sort of how it works. So yeah, I got really into the PvP aspect. I don't have any footage of it, which I wish I kind of did. But at one point, I was trying to play at least a couple of online games every day.
Right.
And that really helps me. Like if you're somebody, so like my advice is to, if you're like me and played a fighting game and you're like, I want to improve, the easiest way to improve is by playing at least a little bit, even if you go in and you just get your ass kicked and you lose. Losing is one of the most efficient ways to learn. It's just an opportunity to.
I think if you can analyze how you lost,
your choices, right?
That's very important. Yeah.
You can watch replays like So yeah, go on. Don't be scared and go, okay, I'm just gonna stick to World Tour and I'm scared to queue up for ranked. Ranked will give you opponents who are actually at your skill level, so just queue up for ranked. Don't even worry about ranking up. Just treat it like a normal queue and just be like, I'm just going to play against random people, and if I lose and I win, it doesn't really matter. Then, training against just going into training mode and just fighting the CPU on a different level, super useful. And especially every time I didn't understand playing against a character, I would go into training mode and I would make the enemy CPU that character, and I would just learn how they played. Like, Dialism kicked my ass, and I was like, how the fuck does this character work? And I made my training CPU Dialism, and I would fight him, and I'm like, okay, he's a long-range character, and he's just trying to range you. And if you get too close, he's just going to do, like, the fire breath thing. So you just basically have to dodge that, and then you can just wail on at close range as Luke, right? Or like Honda, it's just like he's just gonna try and fucking grab you, right? So your choices are to like dodge or grab him back and break his grab, right? Or you could like drive. You could drive rush him. You could drive impact him. I mean, like characters like E Honda are the big like noob stompers, right? Like I probably still will lose to E Honda because he's one of those characters where it's like he's gonna deal a bunch of damage and he's gonna do a very simple thing, but it's really hard for new players to counter it because they don't understand enough about the game. I'm tempted to try another character, but I feel like trying another character is like I'm not losing my progress on that character, but I'm losing sort of like that muscle memory synergy I have with playing Luke. Like I do genuinely like Luke. Like when I came into the game, I was like, I'm going to play Cammy because Cammy looks like Cammy. And then I was like, oh, actually, Luke is the tutorial character, and I just kind of learnt Luke, and I was like, this character's really fun. But yeah, maybe I'll try another. So the reason I stopped playing so much was because I couldn't drive Rush consistently, and I was like, I think my controller has fucking stick drift, because every time I did it with my Xbox Elite Series 2, which I've had for like 2 or 3 years now, I couldn't consistently pull it off. And every time I did it with the D-pad, I was like, shit, I can do it consistently with the D-pad. So I was like, maybe I got stick drift. And Tony, I've done the Street Fighter test with the Mumba 1, which is a Hall Effect controller, and I can consistently drive Rush with the Hall Effect controller. So I think there's just like
this is a new controller as well, so it's not.
Yeah, I think there is just some like stick drift issues with my my Elite controller, which is a shame because it's one of my favorite controllers ever made. It is like genuinely so nice to hold and play with. But maybe I'll just start queuing up ranked again with my Mumba 1 Hall Effect controller, and that'll help me. I'm nowhere near the point where I'm like, I'm not playing Street Fighter unless I've got my fight box, set up and plugged in.
Yeah.
I need my
can understand why you'd want that though. Like, if you want to, like, I need to be at this level and like, you want to feel comfortable. Like, I can completely understand like that level of commitment.
I like the music of this game as well. Like, I'm a real big fan of the victory music that plays when you win a game, because I almost never heard it in the beginning, and then every time I would just sit on the victory menu and like just bop along, being like, yeah, I earned this music by just spending all that time grinding the ranked mode. But I
so
like
you would recommend people picking it up. It's modern mode then.
Yeah.
You're planning to switch to...
Not anytime soon.
You're saying that you could, like, even if you have modern mode enabled, which, like, 20% less damage, you can still input the normal buttons and
yeah,
get
so the way modern mode works is it's a lot easier to input the commands, but you take like a 20% damage penalty to the actual damage. So there is a reason to play in classic mode. Well, because you don't want to give people in modern mode too much of an advantage while taking too much away from the classic players. But if you're in modern mode and you input the command anyway in the classic mode, you can get rid of the damage penalty for that move. So there is a way to play in modern with kind of hybrid classic, but again, I'm not planning on doing anything like that anytime soon. I'm still very new to the game, and I've played about 20-ish hours of Street Fighter 6 at this point, and I would say I'm still like... I think I got to the top of Iron, but I think this is where I'm supposed to be for now. I need to play more until I get a rank up and get better.
So high Iron.
Yeah, but then I started like struggling against I really struggled against Cammy because she's like the problem with Cammy is like for me playing as Luke is she's really fast. She's a speed character, and I'm struggling to keep up with her. So I need to practice against speed characters, I think, and just learn to... And I'm very bad at... I need to put, like, more anti-aerial into my play, because I'm bad at anti-aerial. I think that's, like, a new player thing. Yeah, every time I play, I'm like... I have a list, and I'm like, this is what I can improve on. This is how I can, get better sort of thing. And I've really been enjoying playing Street Fighter 6. I'd recommend it to most people. It's a really fun game, even if you're just going to play like the World Tour mode and not just the online thing.
I plan to do it, but yeah, so
Rising
I'm trying to find a fighting game that would teach me to learn fighting games like single player, because I'm not a multiplayer guy.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But like just playing like Luke, you just learn so much of their diet, like rising uppercut, or just like beast mode, baby, and you just do like the ultimate move where you're just like hammering down, punching them, just picking up all their mannerisms. But yeah, did you see like the mini game I was doing? I was like breaking boards. There's one I did where you like cook pizza in World Tour mode. There is like a bunch of other.
Oh, okay.
Like World Tour mode does have like a bunch of random shit in it, right? I was like, because Metro City was quite big, and you get like the opportunity to go to like different parts of the world. And I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be more Metro Cities. But I went to like the Colosseum Italy thing, and it was just like literally only the Colosseum. There wasn't like anywhere to run around. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not as expansive as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I would. Again, that's something to think about. I would love to see. Like you were saying, it's like not very much story. It's like I don't. Almost because I played Soul Calibur story, which is like it's also just like a few lines of dialogue and some text that you skip. So it's like I don't expect very much from a fighting game story, but I genuinely would love them like in the next games like just like go really ham with the world tour, just like really in-depth story with like maybe multiple plans, like maybe not too many, but just like some like side stuff you could do. I don't know, but more love for it, but because it's already pretty good.
One thing that I have to mention that was driving me insane that does not get explained to you as a new player: tutorials have a mode for classic and a mode for modern. And I was doing the tutorial, which I assumed would switch to modern mode because I was playing a modern mode, but I was doing the classic tutorial without it telling me that it was classic innately. And I was like, it was like, push this button. And I was like, I can't do this. This is impossible. And I was driving me crazy. And I was like, wait, you need to like specifically switch the tutorials to be into modern, which is like, oh, that's annoying. So that's something I wish I knew earlier, because it was legit making me go insane. I was like, why can't I do this? I don't understand.
Other than that, you recommend Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I'd recommend it as well. The small bits I play, I actually made it play more for sure.
Yeah, it's really fun. I would recommend Street Fighter 6 to just most people. I think it's a solid game, and it's pretty easy to get into on several levels. So, I wanted to talk about so inside world tour, there's a bunch of arcade machines, and I played the entirety of Final Fury. Final Fight. I did also play Fatal Fury, but this is a fighting game in the beat 'em up sense, and this is like a classic like Capcom like arcade game.
It's like scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
So you played through all of this then? Like,
yeah, I started recording like halfway through because I was looking for a pause game button to be like, oh, I need to get my recording going, and you cannot pause this, so I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
If you open up like the pause menu, it just runs it in the background and it just keeps going, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna run out of time and die if I try and record this. So I was like, I had like a bonus round, and I was like, okay, I can quickly get the recording software out and record this. I'll tell you what I wrote down for this. I gave it 2.5 stars. I said, played inside Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode through an arcade cabinet emulator. Was fun to experience some retro arcade game, but unless you were very rich with a lot of credits, brackets, I had unlimited credits, so as part of the arcade emulator, you could put in as many credits as you want, because every time you die, it would be like, insert another credits continue. And unless you were like insanely rich, there's no way you could get through this game. Because like, I don't know how else you would deal with the gimmicky stun lock mechanics that every single enemy like puts you through. There is some fun to be had from like button mashing, and there is some like crazy cool looking sprites. But for the most part, this game has like 2 buttons. And you know, there is some mechanics like you can pick up weapons, but I just had to like brute force figure that out for myself because it's not explained in the game. Of course, this is a really retro classic one. But like an enemy will just run at you off screen. Oh, did you see like the continue menu there where he's just tied up and strapped to a fucking dynamite? Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty fun. Because I do like games with bad like
the gimmick of these guys is they just want to run at you and charge at you, right? But sometimes they'll run a few off screen. Which I'm just like, well, how am I supposed to avoid that? And there's semi like boss guys, like let's see if I can find a boss. You can like pick up guys and like throw them into people, which is interesting. But I found it kind of hard to like manipulate what I was doing because there's just such a lack of control. Like there was very few buttons, sort of thing. This sprite is crazy, by the way. I'm just looking at this now.
Yeah.
This woman.
The couple of women,
Yeah. Go, 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 go! Have you ever played a beat 'em up game, Tony? That's why I'm one of the first ones I've ever played.
I never. No, I have. I never played. Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I think there's some like modern, like remade, like in the like. I think with the same name, but completely like redone. I think they're better, but like it's still kind of simplistic. And obviously not with the idea of taking all your coins from an arcade for what you do arcade. But it's not. Yeah, it's a bit simplistic and it's a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Unless I'm missing something like how you're meant to deal with certain things, I don't understand. So the strategy seems to always be very similar.
It feels very much like a time capsule playing this game. It's very much a game of its time. Like the credit design and like how it was built to just like get more money out of you. I guess that's kind of how games are built now, though, right? They're just built to get more money out of you. But
in a different way.
In a different way, yeah. But like the actual, I was gonna say like the actual game is designed around like spending money, but that's kind of like what gacha games are now these days. I mean, that is the gameplay.
It's the unfortunate thing is like gaming history has just always had this really predatory money grabbing mechanics. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'll show you like the final fight. Oh, this is like a guy who's just like driving around in a wheelchair shooting you. There's some like, there's this guy here, Andore, which I believe is based on the popular wrestler Andre the Giant, I think his name is. Like if I show you his sprite, you'll immediately be like, okay, if you know who he is. Yeah. He has this girl in his wheelchair, and he's just driving around shooting you with a fucking crossbow, and I'm like, this is the final boss of like final fight. I'm like, what the? I couldn't understand for the life of me what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. I just kept punching and just.
How How do you do also shooting?
He has like a invisible like health bar, I think, because you just have to keep fighting, and then eventually I think you can throw him out the window.
Okay.
Again, like it was interesting.
Well,
It was interesting to experience this game because it's unlike anything I've ever really played before. But it's definitely a game that, unless you have strong nostalgia for it, it might be best left in the past in terms of like the actual gameplay of it.
Less than an hour to finish this with infinite coins.
What did you say? Sorry.
How long did it take you to finish it with infinite coins?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, this recording's like half an hour, so. And this is like, I played a bunch of the game before, probably like a few hours, I guess. It wasn't very long, let's just say that.
Yeah.
But of course, it would have felt much longer in the past because you wouldn't have been able to actually get through the game, right?
Yeah, you'd have to start again.
Yeah. So it'd be like, oh my god, this game's so long. And it's like, no, actually, it's like a couple of hours long if you have the credits.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about another game I played, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, which I played the beta of,
Right.
which is now out, so I haven't played the full game. But I saw this game because they were doing a collaboration where you could play as Cristiano Ronaldo, the football player in this game, which I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah.
But you couldn't play him, right?
But this game actually, Tony, has its own sort of modern mode. It's called arcade mode and smart style, arcade style and smart style. So this game is I'm glad to see more fighting games are being like, okay, we need some sort of modern mode equivalent to get new players in.
Yeah, well, I say it was really successful for Street Fighter 6, so I think kind of have to now.
The one thing I would say that was because like I did. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to mention about Street Fighter 6 before we finish. That really annoyed me was I don't have the DLC Street Fighter Pass for Street Fighter 6. And when I faced it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I can still face against those people. That's fine. But then I would face like an Ed or someone, right, or a Terry, and I would be like, okay, let me practice against this character that I'm allowed to play against. If you try and load up them as an enemy CPU to practice against them, you're not allowed to because you don't own the DLC. So I'm allowed to play against them without the DLC, but I'm not allowed to learn how to play against them without the DLC. Which I was like, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Which I found kind of annoying. Like, I wish they would kind of turn that in because the fighter pass is kind of expensive still.
Yeah, it is. That's how I get money.
Because I've already paid like a bunch of money for the base game, and then it's like, well, if you want to be able to play these characters or know how to play against them, you need to do this. But there's a bunch of Fatal Fury characters in Street Fighter 6 as DLC. So you've got your Mai's, you've got your right.
It's always crossover with fighting games. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, like Link in Soul Calibur. Is that one of them?
Soul Calibur had that weird one like Darth Vader, Ezio, Starkiller from Force Unleashed.
There was tons of crazy ones in that. Yeah.
2B, the Geralt.
But even you have stuff like Smash Bros. You have like Joker from Persona, or like Sans from Undertale.
Getting everyone in, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, so I was familiar with a couple of the characters from Street Fighter, like I'd seen like Mai and I think Terry before. So I was like, okay, I have a brief understanding of what these characters do. But yeah, I would.
Do they play the same in Fatal Fury as they do?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Mai is very much like she does like these fan moves and these fire moves, like Yariichi, like these sort of moves. And I wish she plays kind of. I mean, I never played Mai myself because she was a DLC character, so I wasn't allowed to play her. But from what I saw on like Twitch and stuff, I kind of had an idea of how she played. I would say the most interesting thing about this one was the health bar. You can see you have an SPG. So
Oh, is it? Yeah, depending where
when
you are, it's like you get a
yeah, so
super
you
ability.
basically have
Special.
control over this special bar where you'll basically get like a big buff when you hit that point in your health bar, and you can choose to have it at like the beginning of your health bar, so you can like immediately go into a match and be like, I'm gonna do a burst of damage. You can have it in the middle, so like you can be like, okay, I'm gonna like tactically use this, or you could put the SPG bar at the end to be like, okay, I'm going to have it at the end as like a last resort. I need to be like, okay, I'm about to die, let's go, like crazy mode, right? This is part of like, I think it's called like the Rev system, essentially. I don't know. I haven't played as much of this as Street Fighter because it was a beta weekend thing I played, so I played for like
Right.
an hour or so or something like that.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play that much.
You
Because
couldn't
as
play
I was
all of-
playing Fatal Fury, I was like, man, there's so much more I have to learn about this game, and I was trying to like input Street Fighter commands, and I'm like, I'm a new player to fighting games, and it's like, I think it can be a mistake to try and play multiple fighting games at once because
Yeah,
they
I
can
think
be so
one
different,
learner-
and it can be more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
mental overload. So I would say like pick a fighting game, and if you like it, like just try and play more of it and just figure that out, and then move on to something else
If
once
you're
you're finished
comfortable
with
fighting
it.
games in general, and then switch, or then try another one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
makes
find
sense.
something you gel with, right?
So would you go back to this if it's not out? It's not fully out yet.
It's fully out. It's fully out. Yeah, it came out
Oh,
like
it
in
is fully out
April,
now.
so it came out like a few months ago.
Okay.
I would give it another go. Yeah, I didn't love it as much as Street Fighter.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think the art style, you have this like ink blotted cell shaded system. I mean, when I was in the beta, you couldn't play as Cristiano Ronaldo, and that was the guy I was playing to
No.
main, so that would be the
Yeah.
main draw, you know. The thing with this game is they did like a ton of advertising for it. Like they were really trying to get it back into the mainstream, and I don't know, like it seems like people are quite positive on it based on the store page that now it's been released. Because I think like Fatal Fury has been a thing where the characters that have existed as in Smash Brothers and inside Street Fighter, but they've not really had their own game for a while.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to like explore another fighting game that I didn't really know anything about. Like I knew, like I've played Smash. I've played like other platform fighters like Multiverses and stuff like that, but when it comes to like the classics, I wanted to look at stuff like Street Fighter, you know, Mortal Kombat, you know, your Tekkens, like your staples of fighting games, and I was interested to know more about some of the other, like, because you have some other genres, like you have like your anime fighters, like your Guilty Gears or your what's it called? I can't remember the other one I'm thinking of. Playing Street Fighter now after having played 2XKO, the Riot fighting game last year, and getting my ass absolutely handed to me. I am excited to play 2XKO again because I think I would really enjoy playing that fighting game more now that I have fighting game experience. Get to some like gameplay, I guess, rather than just the tutorial. I did play as Mai, and then but I've been playing the tutorial as the other character, so I was just like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Would you be interested in playing this game at all? Because you're interested in Street Fighter, but I don't know if it doesn't really seem to have like a big like single player thing. This game. I can have a look at the store page. It says, strive for supremacy in episodes of Southtown, a single-player RPG mode. A solo RPG adventure where you square up against contenders under various fight conditions, earning XP and other rewards for your efforts. Level up your fighter and belt diverse kit of skills. Okay, so there's some sort of... Whenever they say this stuff, though, I'm always like... I saw that Street Fighter had, like, a single-player thing, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a go. And then I'm like... It's not as expansive as I would have liked it to be, right? But yeah, that's kind of all I've got to say about fighting games. Big fan of Street Fighter 6. Final Fight was an interesting time capsule, and Fatal Fury is an interesting game from one of the other classic franchises I didn't really know about. But yeah, been enjoying fighting games so far, and I hope I get to play some more. So I will see you next time. Goodbye.